Hey lunatics, what's up? It's Asylum Reviews here and welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing my Monday Night Raw results for the March 25th, 2019 episode. And we had a beat the clock challenge to kick off the show. And then we also had Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre again, this time in a last man standing match, main event of the show. Kurt Angle fought Samoa Joe, the United States Champion, on part of his farewell tour, and a whole other lot of shit happened. So let's go over it. So tonight's Raw opens up from the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, Sasha Banks' hometown. As Michael Cole welcomes us, he joins by Corey Graves and Renee Young. They talk about how Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch will officially be main eventing WrestleMania 35. We talked about that in the previous video. If you haven't already, go check it out, and you'll see for yourself. We go right to the ring, and out comes Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey to a mixed reaction. She takes the mic, but before she can even speak, "We want Becky" chants start up. Rousey mentions women main eventing WrestleMania for the very first time as the boos start up. Rousey has only one thing to say: "You're welcome." She picks the mic back up and says she does not have anything else to say, but not that fans appreciate what she says or accomplishes. Rousey promises to make Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair tap out at the same exact time at WrestleMania. She picks up the mic and says she has one more thing left to say. She has no idea what a beat the clock challenge is, but it sounds like another one of those gimmick matches around here. Rousey is ready to get this farce going. She says now that's all she gotta say. So out comes the Riot Squad. So Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda are all on Raw, and they're all gonna be participating in this beat the clock challenge against each member of the Riot Squad. I have no idea what the point of this was. It's just another way to build up their triple threat match at WrestleMania. But this just made the Riot Squad look weak and pathetic and losers, and it was just, I don't know. I don't understand what the point of this was. So out comes the Riot Squad. Sarah Logan is out first, and Mike Rome does the introduction. The superstars with the best times would be the winner. Rousey's opponent will be Logan. Then it comes Becky Lynch. Becky speaks from the stage as fans pop. She says it's good to be back in Boston. She tells Rousey to quit being a little weirdo. She goes on about Rousey and says that after all her hype, nobody gave a damn until the man got involved with her. The fans chant for Becky. Lynch says she's the best thing that's ever happened to Rousey. She saved her title run, and that's why they're in the main event. Lynch says Rousey knows how this will end, with Rousey's title over her head and Rousey's skull under her foot at WrestleMania. The music interrupts. How comes Charlotte Flair? Flair mocks them for making so much noise. She says yes, the women are in the main event, but not because of what Lynch has done for the past 6 months or what Rousey has done for over the past year, but because of what Flair has done for the past 7 years. She gets booed for that. Flair says that's why she was handpicked to be in the main event of WrestleMania. She heads to ringside as Rousey and Logan get ready to go at it. The bell rings and Logan goes right to the floor. Rousey chases her around the ring as the clock begins. Back in, then back around the ring again as the clock ticks away. Rousey runs through Logan's partners and back into the ring, but Sarah Logan nails her as she comes right back in. She takes control. Logan applies a submission hold, keeps it down in the middle of the ring, but Rousey turns it around and immediately taps out Sarah Logan in under 1 minute and 25 seconds. Rousey marches up the ramp as Flair enters the ring, and now it's Charlotte Flair and Ruby Riott. The bell rings and Flair goes for the big boot, but Ruby dumps her over the top rope to the floor. Flair comes back in with chops. She turns it around and drops Ruby with a right hand. We see Rousey watching from the stage. Flair with the natural selection attempt, but Ruby comes right back in. Ruby with offense and a close 2 count. Flair comes back and applies the figure 4 into the figure 8, but Ruby doesn't tap as the timer goes off. Flair did not beat the clock. And now it's Becky Lynch's turn, and Becky fought Liv Morgan. Liv comes in and goes at it, drops Lynch with a big boot. Or Flair drops Becky with the big boot rather, before Lynch came in, or before Liv Morgan came in. Flair makes her exit, and Liv goes at it with the time to beat 1 minute and 25 seconds. Liv unloads on Becky in the corner as the bell hits. Flair looks on from ringside laughing at Becky. Liv with more offense and a close 2 count. Liv keeps Becky grounded now. Lynch rallies and unloads with no offense. Lynch goes for the disarmer, but it's countered. Instead, she comes back and they trade pin attempts. Becky gets the pin within 7 seconds left on the clock, and Becky beats the clock. Again, I don't know what the point of this whole thing was. It's just a way to build up their triple threat main event at WrestleMania. But again, like, this just made the Riot Squad look weak. So, whatever. That's just that. But after the bell, Lynch stands tall as the music hits. Rousey runs from the stage. Flair mounts Becky from ringside as Becky celebrates the win, pointing up at the WrestleMania 35 sign. The announcers hype the WrestleMania main event as Rousey talks trash on the stage. Lynch yells back at her from the ring. We see Finn Balor backstage warming up as he's going to be having a 1-on-2 handicap match, rematch from, I think it was Elimination Chamber, against Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. 1-on-2 handicap match. Balor must win in order to get a title shot at WrestleMania. We come back from the commercial, and out comes Finn Balor to a huge pop. Intercontinental Champion Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush are out next, but Lio Rush takes the mic. As you can clearly tell, he's not in his ring gear, so you can tell something is up. And he says that Balor's road to WrestleMania goes through them, and it's a road Balor does not want to be on right now. Rush goes on and calls Balor a piece of hot garbage like Rob Gronkowski, getting the heat from local New England Patriots fans. Rush reveals that thanks to Braun Strowman last week, he is not medically clear to compete tonight. He introduces Lashley's new partner for the handicap match, and out comes Jinder Mahal with the Singh brothers. Fucking random as hell. Don't know why he was on there, but so we have Lashley and Mahal against Balor. The bell rings. Lashley will be starting off with Balor. Lashley immediately drops Balor with the knee to the gut. He takes Balor to the corner and goes to work, but Lashley charges, but Balor moves in. He hits hard. The Singh brothers and Rush provide distractions to the apron, allowing Lashley to knock him off the floor. We go to commercial with Balor out down on the outside. Back from the break, and Jinder is in it. Go at it with Balor. He turns around, drop kicks Jinder in the face. Balor goes on, knocks Lashley off the apron. Big shot to Jinder and an elbow drop to Lashley as he comes in. Balor with the double stomp to Lashley now. He knocks Jinder over the top to the floor with clothesline. The Singh brother grabbed Balor's legs. He ran to the ropes. Balor clears the ring, and he nails a huge dive over the top rope, taking everyone out. And he comes back in, and he hits the coup de grace on Jinder for the 1-2-3. So now Finn Balor will be fighting Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title, and it's rumored to be Demon Finn and not regular Finn. So we'll see. Again, like I mentioned in the previous video, having Demon Finn come out and facing Lashley at WrestleMania is just lazy booking. I much would have rather seen Demon Finn come out at the Royal Rumble against Brock Lesnar and take the Universal title. Sadly, we would have seen Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor and Seth Rollins for the Universal title at WrestleMania. Demon Finn versus Rollins. Who would not want to see that? So, but again, it's just stupid that they had normal Finn fight Lesnar, and then you had Demon Finn fight fucking Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. It's stupid. And like I said, even though he's probably most likely gonna be Demon Finn, he's not gonna lose to fucking Bobby Lashley. He's gonna become a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. So, I mean, what else can you expect? Lashley brings the Singh brothers into the ring, destroys them both. He then levels Jinder with a big spear, and he paces around and he stands tall as Balor looks on from the stage. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. His farewell tours continues. Gray points out that how they never wrestled in WWE, but they wrestled a bunch of times in TNA. Cole mentions Elias being the featured musical guest of WrestleMania 35. We go to a clip of Elias in New York City's Times Square. He says many people have performed over there the years, but none of those performances will compare to what he has in store for WrestleMania. Elias says he's ready to perform a song for the people gathering around him. A street musician tries to join him, but he insults the guy and New Yorkers. Elias says he has to practice for the big performance now. One thing I didn't understand here, while Elias was talking in this little segment, there was a random guy who just took all the money Elias had in his briefcase, and he just ran away. And then Elias never noticed, and then he did the same thing, except this time he took the fucking briefcase. So he took the guy's money, and then he took the briefcase, and he just ran off. They didn't know who it was. It was some guy with a hood on. He had a skull, he had a cap on and jeans. No idea who the fuck that was, but it was random as hell. I'm not sure what that was about. The Revival versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. We go back into the ring, and out comes Aleister Black. Back to commercial, or back from the break, and out comes Ricochet. The Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival, are out next to their non-title match. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder hit the ring, but they're attacked before the bell for the recent stage attack, or payback for the recent. They fight back, but Ricochet and Black take them down as the fans pop. The referee calms things down, and we get to the bell. The Revival gets the upper hand to start, using a quick tag. Dawson unloads on Black and takes him to the corner. Oh my god, damn, Caitlyn spamming me. Alright. Dawson takes Black down and aggressively keeps him grounded now. Black manages to drop Dawson with a big kick. Ricochet tags in for the double team. Dawson eats a sliding drop kick, and Dash comes in, but Ricochet and Black clear the ring. Black runs the ropes and looks to leap out onto the Revival, but he puts the brakes on. Ricochet struts on the apron to mock the Revival. He then nails a moonsault on both opponents from the apron to the floor. That was a nice spot. We go to commercial, and with Black and Ricochet in control. We're back from the break, and Dawson stops Ricochet from tagging in. The Revival ends up double teaming Ricochet with the suplex. Dash covers Ricochet for the close 2 count, and Dawson talks trash in the Ricochet's face while Dash has him down. Ricochet rocks Dash with a forearm and another. Dawson tags back in and has his way with Ricochet while he's down. Ricochet counters with a big kick, and Dash tags in, but Ricochet drops him with the neck breaker. Black waits for the tag. Black tags in as what Dawson does, and he avoids the attack and knocks Dash off the apron. Black goes to work on Dawson now. Dash runs back in, but Black's taking them both down with the moonsault from the second rope. Black sends Dash to the floor. Big strikes to Dawson now, covered for a close 2 count. Dash pulls Ricochet off the apron, distracting Black. This leads to Dawson rolling Black up for the close 2 count. Dawson blocks the big kick from Black and covers for another pin attempt. Dawson tags back in for the double team, but it backfires. And Black levels both opponents with the Black Mass. Ricochet tags in, hits during the double team attempt. The Rival didn't see it. He goes right to the top, and he hits the beautiful 630 senton, and he hits it on Dash for the 1-2-3. Ricochet, it looks like Ricochet and Aleister Black are going to be taking on the Revival at WrestleMania for the Raw Tag Team titles. This was rumored to be canceled, along with the Usos versus the Hardy Boys for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, but who knows, this could still very well be happening at WrestleMania. I mean, Ricochet and Aleister Black, they pinned the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival, so I would assume that they're getting their shot at WrestleMania. If not, then it's probably going to happen on next week's Raw, but it would make more sense for it to happen at WrestleMania. After the match, Black and Ricochet stand tall as we go to replays. The Revival grab the titles from the Timekeepers area, and they have Rome announce them as still the Raw Tag Team Champions. They headbutt to the back as Ricochet and Black look on. They announce that Triple H will be here to respond to the comments Batista made last week. We go back into the ring, and out comes Drew McIntyre. He says he doesn't care if you don't like him, but you will respect him. He addresses Roman Reigns and says 1 week is a long time to wait for the answer to his WrestleMania 35 challenge. Drew shows us a clip from 2 weeks ago where he destroyed Reigns before what was to be Reigns' comeback match against Baron fucking Corbin. We also see a clip from last Monday where Drew issued the WrestleMania challenge to Reigns, saying he may have beat leukemia, but he will never beat Drew in the grandest stage of them all. We come back into Drew, and some fans are booing him. Drew says, for the love of God, he hopes Reigns' wife or family got through this thick skull and convinced him to turn the match down. Drew says he's already destroyed the Shield. He brags on the recent wins about Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. He goes on, he tells Reigns to think about his family and how he's put them through enough already. He tells Reigns to think about his kids because they already had to watch Daddy fight for his life once. Drew asks if Reigns wants to put his kids through that one more time at WrestleMania, when he already knows that he's going to lose. The fans boo, and out comes Roman. They start chanting for Roman. Drew says that he will stand here all night until he gets his answer. He will hold Raw hostage if the music and then the music interrupts, and here comes Roman Reigns to a big pop. Reigns enters the ring and gets right in Drew's face for a tense stare down. Roman accepts your challenge, says the big dog. But he wants Drew to listen very carefully because this isn't coming from Roman, this is coming from Joe. I like what he said here. Don't you ever run your mouth about my wife and my kids. Reigns rocks Drew into the mouth, and he unloads on him, mounting him on the mat. Reigns launches Drew into the ring post, and he falls into the floor. Reigns is fired up as he beats Drew around the ringside area now, tossing him back into the barrier. He brings Drew back into the ring as the fans can't chant for him, but he approaches and Drew hits the low blow to bring Reigns down. The fans boo. Drew stares Reigns down and he waits in the corner for him to get up. And he slowly gets up and Drew just levels him with the fucking Claymore kick to more boos. Drew stands tall with Reigns as the referees enter the ring and try to get him to leave. But Drew taunts Reigns, makes his exit as we go to replay, and he watches over Reigns recover from the stage and says Reigns should have said no. So now made official, Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins will be addressing Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe still announced. We're back from the break, and Drew McIntyre walks up to Dean Ambrose backstage. Ambrose asks about the cockroach comments that Drew made about him in the ring. Ambrose doesn't feel exterminated. He then asks Drew to give him one more shot tonight. Last man standing. Drew says he's not sure about how Ambrose is still standing, but he promises he won't be after tonight. Drew walks off. And then the match was made official after this match. Sasha Banks versus Natalya. Didn't we see this already last week? I don't know why they're fighting again. But this match barely even started because fucking all hell broke loose. Natalya had Beth Phoenix in her corner, and then Sasha had Bayley in her corner. This match really never got started because fucking Nia and Tamina, they just don't know when to fucking back off, and they just want to ruin everything. So they come out and they take everybody out. Blah, 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 blah. But after the bell, Beth Phoenix hits the ring and she brawls with Nia Jax. Beth scoops Nia on her shoulders, but Snuka runs up, makes a save. Phoenix takes out Jax and unloads on Snuka now. Beth hits the glam slam on Snuka in the middle of the ring for a pop. Beth stomps on Tamina Snuka and turns her attention to Natalya as she approaches, consoling her into the middle of the ring. The fans chant, "You still got it," as Beth as she stands with Natalya. Beth stands on Banks' title belt, but the champions manage to take their titles and look from the ringside as the Divas of Doom stand tall in the ring. And then that's when they announced that it's been confirmed: Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose, last man standing match for the main event. They talk about the Hart Foundation being inducted into the Hall of Fame. We get a video package for the former WWE Tag Team Champions, Bret Hart and Jim the Anvil Neidhart. We go back into the rings. Natalya is still in there with Beth. She gets emotional as the music hits, and Natalya points up for her late father as the fans cheer. Charlie Caruso is backstage with WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle, asking about his farewell tour in tonight's match with United States Champion Samoa Joe. Angle says he appreciates Joe coming from SmackDown. Angle talks about his farewell tour and how this is going out on his own terms. He mentions the match with Chad Gable and says he would go on to win his last match against Baron fucking Corbin at WrestleMania 35. He also mentions how this being his last match in Boston, Corbin appears and ends up insulting Angle, since fans would cheer for him, but because they feel sorry for him and think he should have retired a while ago. Corbin says Angle is half the man he used to be. He predicts negative, pathetic headlines for Angle in the day after WrestleMania. Angle tells Corbin to screw himself and walks off. We go backstage, and it's time for another episode of Moment of Bliss. Yay! Alexa Bliss makes her way out, back to commercial, looking hot as fuck, like usual. This time she's in the ring. She's not on the stage, she's in the ring. Charlie Caruso stops Sasha Banks and Bayley backstage. She brings up the competition in the women's tag team division. Banks cuts her off, says that they will be facing any team at WrestleMania 35, and Banks and Bayley walks off. So it looks like we're going to be getting a fatal four-way at WrestleMania 35 with Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia and Tamina. I don't know why the fuck they're in there. Versus Natalya and Beth Phoenix versus the Iconics. I'd much rather replace Nia and Tamina with Trish and Lita. That would be a whole lot better. Get the fuck out of here. Get away, Nia and Tamina. Get away from the women's tag team titles. You're god awful. I say it every single week. They're fucking terrible. So, Alexa's special guests were these fucking retards, Colin Jost and Michael Che from Saturday Night Live. I mean, I don't have a problem with Michael Che, but Colin Jost is the one that's just fucking retarded. He's just stupid, man. Oh my god. Bliss welcomes us and says, ever since she became the WrestleMania 35 host, the show keeps getting better and better. Now, wait a minute. do you mean Monday Night Raw is getting better and better? Because it is clearly not. Or do you mean the Moment of Bliss show is getting better and better? That I will agree on. But Monday Night Raw? Nuh-uh. Definitely not. Oh, and by the way, earlier when Balor fought Lashley and Mahal, Corey Graves said the most retarded thing I've ever heard him say. He said, and I quote, "The Singh brothers are the most dangerous people in the WWE." And I was like, what the fuck? Corey Graves, are you fucking high or something? The Singh brothers are more dangerous than Brock Lesnar. The Singh brothers are more dangerous than Drew McIntyre. The Singh brothers are more dangerous than Samoa Joe. Bro, what the fuck are you on? Oh my god. Oh, I had to like mute the TV after hearing. I was just like, what? What did he just say? Oh my god. I just had to bring that up. So anyways, Bliss brings up some examples of how Strowman had lost his temper in the past. She asked what would happen if Jost and Shay would happen to get those hands. Strowman says the only thing he thought about when he saw the red carpet smashing Jost's pasty face. I laughed out loud at that. Bliss thanks Braun for sharing his feelings, which is then the first step of the healing process. Bliss introduces her next guest, and they're live via satellite from New York City. And this fucking retard, Colin Jost. Remember how last time he wore a Mets hat? Well, this time he ends up wearing a Yankees hat. And I'm just like, oh my god, you really, really want the fans to just fucking hate you, don't you? And then Braun challenged them to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal to get these hands. Who cares? And then Alexa made it official, since she's the host of WrestleMania, that Colin Jost and Michael Che will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Okay. We go to Elias outside of Madison Square Garden in New York City, talking about his big performance WrestleMania 35. And someone tosses him a quarter as he's insulted by the charity. Okay. Baron Corbin vs. Apollo Crews, I'm not even going to go over that. I am not even going to go over that. This is the match we saw last week. Another match we saw last week. Sasha Banks and Natalya. Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. Why are we seeing this shit again? I'm not even going to go over that. Baron Corbin wins. Baron Corbin clearly wanted this match because he's a fucking sore loser, as he got beat by Apollo Crews last week, so he couldn't fucking handle the fact that he lost to Apollo Crews. Get the fuck over it, dude. So he wants a match with Apollo Crews, and this time he beats Crews. Good. Who cares? Stupid fucking Corbin, man. Here's where it gets good. We're back from the break, and Cole announces Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair versus the Riot Squad in 6 women action for next Monday's Go Home edition of Raw, the final Raw before WrestleMania. And we'll be seeing the women who will be main eventing WrestleMania, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey. Get this, they're teaming up. How in the hell is that even possible? They're not even going to get along. They hate each other. I mean, are you kidding me? They're going to be teaming up against the whole Riot Squad. And again, like, what the fuck is the point of this, bro? Oh my god, you know this is all hell is going to break loose. There's no way that these three are going to get along and they're just going to win the match just straight up like that. No, it's going to end in chaos. We already know. And then the Riot Squad's going to get involved, and then they're all going to get beat up for it. And then afterwards, while all 3 women are standing in the ring, Becky, Charlotte, and Ronda, they're all going to beat each other up, and then somebody will be saying some shit. I don't know, but come on, bro. Anyways, we go to the ring, and Seth Rollins comes out to a pop. And Rollins says, oh no, I don't even want to talk about it. I got the promo right here. So this is what Seth Rollins said on Monday Night Raw.
When I was a kid watching WWE, the champions that inspired me were guys like the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels and Bret the Hitman Hart, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, hell, Triple H, even John Cena inspires people.
I like how he put over John Cena there.
But you know something? Brock Lesnar does not inspire people.
That is so true, man.
And it goes without saying that this match, guys, this is the biggest match of my entire career. And I've known how important it was to me for a long time. I've wanted this for a long, long time. But up until recently, I didn't realize how important this match was to all of you. Now, I have to beat Brock Lesnar. I have to beat Lesnar because I refuse to let Brock Lesnar be the champion that defines the future of this industry.
And again, before I go on, like I mentioned before, with Seth Rollins not main eventing WrestleMania this year, and it's the women, this now worries me. Are they gonna have Seth still beat Brock at WrestleMania? I hope they do, man, because if they don't, and Brock ends up walking out of WrestleMania still the Universal Champion, WWE will completely just fuck us all over. So I hope that doesn't happen.
I cannot let that happen.
Can't, Seth. You can't.
So in 13 days at WrestleMania, I'm going to walk to that ring. I'm going to get in there with Lesnar, that bully. A bully who's cast a shadow over me and over this entire industry. But what Brock Lesnar does not understand is that with an army behind me, I am unstoppable.
Damn right.
Do you know how pathetic you sound, Seth?
Out comes Paul Heyman.
You need their love. You need their support. You need their affirmation. What's next, kid? I know how your generation thinks. What are you going to say? I need your thoughts and prayers. My Uncle Mushki is getting hernia surgery. I need your thoughts and prayers.
The fucking little kid.
You need their thoughts and their prayers. Because Seth Rollins, you ain't got a thought in your head how to beat Brock Lesnar, nor a prayer in doing so. I don't want you to take it personally, Seth. When Brock Lesnar wins at WrestleMania, I want you to take it personally when you and the entire WWE universe loses at WrestleMania.
So Paul Heyman, he throws the mic, and before Seth makes his way out of the ring, I just want to mention, this actually scared me for a second, because Paul Heyman said it was going to be a handicap match at WrestleMania, and I was like, wait a minute, so Brock's going to have a partner now? Or is Brock going to team with Heyman now against Seth? What is going on here? And then that's when Paul Heyman said it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins and the entire WWE Universe for the Universal title at WrestleMania. So Paul Heyman clearly threw me off for that, and I was legit worried. I was just like, oh no, they're going to fucking screw over Seth here and put Paul Heyman in the match or give Brock a partner. Thank God they didn't do that. So anyways, Seth comes out of the ring. He runs up the ramp, and he goes up to Paul's face, scares Paul. Paul falls down. He just falls down like an idiot, pleading Seth not to do anything. I hope you win. I hope you win. After you clearly just said, oh, when we beat you at WrestleMania. Seth laughs at Paul's face, and this is what he says.
Oh, you got it all wrong. I'm not asking for thoughts and prayers. I'm here to answer them.
I like what he says here.
Because we are going to WrestleMania. We are going to beat Brock Lesnar.
Damn right.
We are going to take the Universal title. And we are going to march into Suplex City. And we are gonna
burn it down. And then fucking Seth drops the mic on Paul Heyman. Oh man, I love that, man. That was great. And Heyman just looks fucking confused. Oh my god, I love that. Oh, that was awesome. So I love the promo that Seth hit there on Heyman, and then he just drops the mic on Paul, not giving a fuck. That was great. Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe. Kurt Angle's music hit, and he comes mocking Paul Heyman while he's still on the stage. Angle hits the ring as the farewell tour continues. We go to commercial, and we come back. Out comes Samoa Joe. He talks about their history and says he can't think of a better way to send Angle off than to put his ass to sleep one last time. Joe enters the ring and they face off as the bell rings. Joe with a headbutt to start rocking Angle. Joe takes it to the corner and unloads. Angle fights back, but Joe rakes his face and eyes. Joe drops Angle on his head and works him over in the corner some more. The fans chant USA and Joe shakes his head. Joe avoids a German suplex and elbows Angle in the face. He then slams Angle and levels him on the mat. Angle fights back, but Joe sends him to the floor. Joe runs in and he ropes and nails a big suicide dive on Kurt Angle. Back from the commercial, Joe's still in control of Angle. Joe works Angle around the ring while talking trash. Angle comes back out of nowhere with 2 German suplexes. He hits the third for a huge pop. Joe kicks out at 2. He comes back with some of his signature moves, and he hits the senton in the middle of the ring for a close 2 count. Angle sidesteps the move, and he drops Joe with the Angle slam for another close 2 count as the Joe kicks out just in time. Joe blocks the ankle lock and drives Angle down for a 2 count. Joe takes Angle to the corner for the muscle buster. Angle fights him back, and he hits a good missile dropkick for a pop. Angle then drops his straps down for another pop. Joe counters the Angle slam once more. More back and forth now. The Uranagi is blocked. Joe catches Angle in the coquina clutch in the middle of the ring. The fans rally for Angle as he starts to fade, but Angle turns it around for a pin out of nowhere, and Angle beats Joe. Angle pinned the United States Champion. And no, Kurt Angle is not getting a United States Championship shot against Samoa Joe, being that he pinned Samoa Joe. No, that is not happening because Kurt Angle is retiring at WrestleMania. So, this is just part of Kurt Angle's farewell tour. And then tonight on SmackDown, he's going to be taking on AJ Styles, and that's going to be fucking great. The match with Joe here was great. I honestly thought it was one of Kurt's best matches since WrestleMania from last year, because the match he had at WrestleMania last year with Ronda Rousey, and Rousey's first WrestleMania match against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, that was Kurt's best match since coming back to WWE. And the match he had with Samoa Joe on last night's Raw was definitely one of the best I've seen in a long time from Kurt Angle. No doubt he will steal the show with AJ Styles tonight on SmackDown Live. So we got another video package here. Triple H will put his career on the line against Batista at WrestleMania. Triple H responds to Batista's comments from last week's Raw via satellite. And this is what Triple H had to say to Batista.
This doesn't make me happy. This is a letter from Batista's lawyer. This letter states that Dave Batista will not be competing at WrestleMania this year. Unless I agree to yet one more stipulation. Now, this letter for the stipulation goes all over the place. It's kind of rambling and it goes on and on. Dave talks about a lot of things. He talks about his recent realization that I started Evolution as a way to protect my own assets and keep the world title around my waist longer. Really, Dave? You just figured that one out now, 13 years later, huh? Dave apparently had a big week. He realized that, and that the moon is not made of cheese. So it was successful for him. He also believes that Evolution did nothing for his career, but yet when he walked in Evolution, he was the deacon, carrying around a collection plate and following Devon Dudley around. But yet when he left Evolution, he was the world heavyweight champion. He also believes that my obsession with him prevented him, after he left Evolution, from having a meaningful career. But yet 6 world championships later, he only quit when he realized he just couldn't beat John Cena. The letter did eventually get to the stipulation, which I will read from this letter because I want to make sure that I accurately
It's like 3 pages long.
Dave's feelings.
3, 4, 5 pages long.
Dave said, and I quote, "If you would like me to appear then at WrestleMania, you will give me what I want.
Give him what he wants.
I really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I wanna. I mean, this goes on and on. It is like pages of I wanna. Basically, let me just cut to the chase. He says here, I want you to put your career on the line at WrestleMania. Meaning that if he beats me at WrestleMania, I will never compete in this ring again. Dave, you beat up a 70-year-old man. 1 year after being on his deathbed, you put him
talking about
back
Ric Flair.
in the hospital, all in a lame attempt to get yourself a match at WrestleMania. I then agreed to go to MetLife Stadium on the biggest stage that there is, 75,000 people there, WrestleMania. I agreed to it, and yet you send this letter because this is what you do. This is just another attempt by you to quit. I am not going to let you quit this time, Dave. I'm going to make you stand up to your commitment. I'm going to make you show up. You see, you believe I'm obsessed with you. Here's the thing, Dave. I don't give a crap about you. I never have. There is no obsession. The only thing I am obsessed with,
It's kicking your ass.
I am obsessed with kicking your ass. And to be honest, if at this point in your career and in my career, I cannot beat a self-deluded like you,
Called him a douchebag.
then I'd have no business being in this ring anyways. You want my career on the line at WrestleMania, Dave? You got it.
Wow. Triple H, Batista, no holds barred.
So there you have it. Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred. And the other stipulation, Triple H's career will be on the line. So another great promo by Triple H. This is, man, if this doesn't get you excited for WrestleMania, I don't know what will. I am so looking forward to seeing Triple H versus Batista, no holds barred, with Triple H's career on the line. This is going to be fucking intense, man. These guys are just going to beat the living hell out of each other, and I cannot wait to see it. But yeah, you already know Triple H is one of those type of guys where if he's on the mic, whatever the fuck you're doing, whether you're I don't know, washing dishes, or you're making food, or you're doing laundry, whatever. When you hear Triple H talk on that microphone, you stop whatever you're doing and you shut up and you listen to what this man has to say, because he's one of the best on the mic, without a doubt. No question. Don't at me. Triple H is one of the best on the mic. Period. Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose, the last man standing match. I don't know why I keep telling WWE to please give Ambrose a win, for fuck's sake. I get it. He's not going to be re-signing with WWE, at least for right now. We still don't know what he's going to be doing. Again, I mentioned this week after week. They keep saying he's going to re-sign. They keep saying he's not going to re-sign. Nobody knows at this point what's going to happen with Dean Ambrose's contract in WWE. Is he staying? Is he leaving? Is he re-signing? Is he not re-signing? Nobody knows at the moment right now. Hopefully, we find out within the next few weeks or after WrestleMania. Maybe he will re-sign. Roman Reigns is trying to get Dean Ambrose to re-sign. So hopefully that happens, because I don't want to see Ambrose gone. So we have Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose in the main event, last man standing match. This didn't last very long. We go to the ring, out comes Dean Ambrose for tonight's main event. Go to commercial, back from the break, and out comes Dean Ambrose. They immediately start brawling. Ambrose sends Drew over the top rope to the floor. Dean goes to the top and he leaps out, but Drew misses and Dean lands hard. Ambrose makes it back up at the 8 count. Drew launches Dean into the barriers. We go back from the commercial. Back from the break, Drew's destroying Ambrose from the kendo stick. And this was nasty, man. I'm telling you, the way Ambrose landed when Drew hit him with the kendo stick, Ambrose was leaping off the top rope or the middle rope, one of the two, and he tried to go for an elbow or some sort. Drew had the kendo stick in his hands, and he just nailed Ambrose right in the gut, turning Ambrose inside out. That was a nasty, nasty spot there by both men, and Ambrose was turned inside out. And then it leaves like a little gash on his rib cage. Ambrose comes back and he hits suicide dive into the barrier. They both get up after the referee counts. More back and forth now. Drew sends Dean back with the big Glasgow kiss headbutt. He slingshots Ambrose thrown into the steel on the bottom of the rain frame. That looked nasty. The referee counts again. Drew grabs part of the steel steps and he rams them into Dean's face. The referee counts again. They bring it back up, but Ambrose ends up using a steel chair and then hitting the Dirty Deeds for a big pop. But Drew ends up making it back at the count of 8. Ambrose nails a big boot and he mounts Drew with the strikes. More back and forth actions to the ring. Drew drives Ambrose through a table in the corner. Ambrose grabbed a table from under the ring, and as he was setting it up, they put the table in the corner, and it looked like he was going to do something. All of a sudden, here comes Drew out of nowhere, driving Ambrose into the table. And as Ambrose makes his way back up to the count, Drew hits the Claymore kick. Ambrose fails to get up. Drew picks up the win. And once again, Drew McIntyre has beaten Dean Ambrose on Monday Night Raw. And that's how Raw ended. McIntyre stands tall over Ambrose as music hits. Go to replays. And Raw goes off the air with McIntyre posing. That's your Monday Night Raw review, people. I will say it was better than last week's show, but it was definitely not better than SmackDown. Because SmackDown is always going to be better than Raw. Same with NXT. Same with 205 Live. I say it every single week. Raw is garbage. SmackDown, way better. NXT, you already know NXT is going to be fucking great. And same with 205 Live. So, there's your Raw Monday Night Raw review. This went 42 minutes. If you guys made it all the way to the end of this video, please go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. RKO like button out of nowhere. Favorite it if you wanted to. Be sure to tap the bell notifications so you get all my future uploads. Really appreciate it. Seriously guys, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much. This was almost an hour long. My longest Raw review up to date. 42 minutes. Unbelievable. But yeah, we are literally about a week and a half away from WrestleMania. 12 days to be exact. And tonight on SmackDown, we have Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles. That's going to be a fucking bar burner match. We also got Carmella and Naomi, the Fabulous Glow, taking on Fire and Desire, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. And then we're also going to be seeing what's going to happen with Kofi Kingston and the rest of the New Day. What are they going to say? What's going to happen? Is Vince going to come out and talk about Kofi's WrestleMania match? Is he going to give Kofi a WrestleMania match with Daniel Bryan? We'll see what happens on tonight's SmackDown. I am very much looking forward to SmackDown tonight. It's going to be a great show like always, and I will be I'll be giving you guys my review in the next video. So if you enjoyed this review, like I said, just do all that stuff I mentioned. I'm not going to repeat it. And once again, thank you all for making it to the end of this review. If you did, I really, really appreciate it. And I'll be back shortly with my SmackDown Live review. 44 minutes. Well worth it. There you have it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Too sweet.